Yesterday night, at exactly 2:17 a.m., my phone buzzed beside my bed. Not a call, not a notification, just a voicemail. At first, I almost ignored it. Nobody contacts me at that hour, and nobody leaves voicemails anymore. But then I looked at the screen, and my whole body froze. The sender wasn't unknown. It wasn't a scam number. It wasn't a mistake. It was my own contact name, my number, my account, a voicemail from me. For a few seconds, I just stared at the phone, trying to remember if I had recorded something earlier, trying to convince myself this was normal. It wasn't. I pressed play, and I heard my own voice, calm, steady, and saying something I hadn't said yet. At that moment, only one thought made sense. If I didn't record that message, who did? I replayed the voicemail 3 times, not because I didn't understand it, but because I was hoping to catch a mistake, a glitch, anything that would explain it. There wasn't one. The voice was mine, same tone, same pacing, even the same hesitation I always have right before finishing a sentence. But what it said didn't make sense yet. It mentioned a place I hadn't been, a conversation I hadn't had, details that felt specific. That wasn't the strangest part. At the end of the message, my voice paused, as if I was choosing my words carefully, and then said something that made my stomach drop. Listen carefully, you won't remember sending this, but when this message ends, you'll still have time. Time for what? I checked the timestamp again. Sent at 2:16 a.m., 1 minute before my phone buzzed. That's when I realized this wasn't a mistake from the past. It was a warning. I didn't know what to do with that thought. A warning from myself. I checked my call history. Nothing. No outgoing calls, no recordings, no drafts. The voicemail file wasn't stored anywhere else. No backup, no trace, just that single message. I told myself it had to be stress, lack of sleep, my brain trying to connect dots that weren't there. But then my phone vibrated again. Another voicemail, same sender, same contact name, same number. Me. I didn't open it right away this time. I stared at the screen, feeling that familiar resistance. The kind you feel right before something changes. Because part of me already knew this wouldn't be random. I pressed play. My voice sounded closer now, lower, less calm. This one is harder to hear, it said. So don't listen to it alone. That was the moment I realized the messages weren't just appearing, they were progressing. And whatever version of me was sending them was running out of time. I checked the time again. 2:19 a.m. The message ended, and nothing happened. No sound, no knock, no alert. That silence was worse than anything else. I waited, counting seconds in my head, listening to my own breathing, wondering what I was supposed to do with the time I was told I still had. Then my phone screen lit up on its own, not a call, not a notification, just the voicemail app opening. A third message appeared. This one didn't have a timestamp. It just said, draft. That shouldn't be possible. I hadn't recorded anything. I hadn't even touched the screen. Before I could stop it, the audio started playing. My voice sounded different now, faster, strained. If you're hearing this, it said, you ignored the first warning. My chest tightened, because I didn't remember ignoring anything, and whatever was sending these messages clearly knew more about my choices than I did. I stopped the audio halfway through. My hand was shaking too much to keep holding the phone. Ignored the first warning? I tried to remember what I'd done since waking up. I hadn't left the bed, hadn't made a call, hadn't sent anything. Unless there was a moment I couldn't recall. I played the message again, slower this time, listening not to the words, but to the spaces between them. There was breathing, not mine. A faint sound in the background, like traffic, or wind passing through something narrow. Then my voice said something it hadn't before. It already started. I sat up. Started what? I checked the time. 2:22 a.m. That's when my phone vibrated a third time. Not another voicemail, a calendar alert. One I didn't remember creating, scheduled for 2:25 a.m. The title was short, and it felt intentional. Do not answer. I stared at the alert until the screen dimmed. Do not answer. Answer what? I checked my call settings. No scheduled calls, no reminders tied to contacts, nothing that could explain it. My phone was silent again. Too silent. I placed it face down on the bed, as if not looking at it could somehow stop whatever was coming. Then the vibration started. Not sharp, not sudden. A slow, steady buzz, incoming call. I didn't need to turn the phone over to know who it was from. I already felt it. The same pressure in my chest. The same cold certainty. I flipped the phone anyway. Incoming call. Me. The alert timer ticked closer to 2:25. Every instinct told me not to touch the screen. But another thought pushed through the fear. If I was warning myself, maybe this was the moment I was trying to stop. The call kept ringing, and I had only seconds left to decide which version of me was about to speak. The ringing stopped. For a moment, I thought it was over. Then a new voicemail appeared. No vibration, no sound. It just showed up. Same sender, same number. I opened it without thinking this time. My voice came through immediately, breathless now like I'd been running. If you answered, it said, you're already too late. I froze. I hadn't answered. At least, I didn't think I had. The message continued. There's a delay, my voice said, between when this happens and when you remember it happening. My stomach turned, because that explained everything. The missing moments, the gaps in memory, the feeling that something had already started without my permission. The voicemail ended abruptly. No warning, no sign-off, just silence. And then my phone screen went dark. Not locked, off. That's when I realized the messages weren't trying to scare me. They were trying to catch up before I forgot again. I waited for the phone to turn back on. It didn't. No logo, no glow, nothing. The room felt different without it, quieter, as if the only thing connecting me to whatever was happening had just been taken away. I checked the clock on my nightstand. 2:26 a.m., 1 minute past the alert. That's when I noticed the sound, a low vibration, not from the bed, not from the walls, from inside my head, like a pressure behind my eyes, pushing gently at first, then harder. Images flashed in quick fragments. My apartment door, the hallway light, my hand reaching for the phone. I hadn't done any of that. At least, I didn't remember doing it. Then a single thought surfaced, clearer than the rest. This wasn't about messages anymore. Something was replaying events slightly out of order, and I was only allowed to remember them after they were already done. I sat there, trying to slow my breathing, waiting for the pressure to fade. It didn't. Instead, the memories started arriving in the wrong order. I remembered standing in the hallway, even though I was still on the bed. I remembered my phone lighting up, even though it was still dark in my hand. And then I remembered something else, a sound, a knock, soft, careful, 3 taps against my door. I hadn't heard it before, but now I remembered reacting to it, remembered standing up, remembered walking toward the door. My heart started pounding as I realized what that meant. If I was remembering the knock now, then it hadn't happened yet. The clock read 2:28 a.m. I stared at the door, waiting for the sound to catch up to the memory. 3 taps, right on time. I didn't move. The knock echoed in my chest, not in the room. I already knew what would happen if I opened that door, because I remembered it. I remembered my hand on the handle, remembered the hesitation, remembered the exact moment I decided to ignore every warning and turn it anyway. That memory felt heavier than the others, sharper, like it hadn't finished happening yet. My phone suddenly powered back on in my hand. One last voicemail appeared. No sender name, no number, just one word. Now! I didn't press play. I didn't need to. I already knew what my voice was going to say. Because the moment I reached for the door, the memory completed itself. The warning hadn't failed. It had arrived exactly when it was supposed to, just not in time to stop me from becoming the one who sent it.